It's getting hot in here, so show me your tattoos. That was not very good. Salutations sisters, what's going on squad fam? So fun little trivia fact, of the time of this recording, it is the hottest day of the year in the UK at the moment. It's 37 degrees Celsius. It's an absolute madness, which is why we're recording in here today. There is no way that I can box myself in and soundproof a hallway. I will just self-combust into flames. So I thought to change up the scenery a little bit, like you've got plants in the background, it's all good. So as you've probably guessed by the title of this video, today I'm going to show you my tattoos and piercings. This is something that I've already touched on back like a couple of years ago now, but that was only when I had a couple thousand subscribers, so new people might not have checked out that video. Plus it was in the middle of a Q&A, so I decided to do a whole dedicated video to my tattoos and piercings. And to be honest, it's just a topic that I haven't really touched on. They're just there. But a little bit of background to these tattoos. I got these when I was in university. I basically spent my entire student loan on them. So if the tax man's watching, mind your business. In total, I've had 4 different tattoo artists just doing little bits. And the first question people ask me when they see my tattoos was, how much did that cost? This was way back in 2012, so I'll be honest, I don't know the exact amount, but tattoo artists normally charge by the hour, and I think mine must have been something like £60 an hour or something like that. Big numbers. The next question I get when people ask about my tattoos are, how long did it take? Now, a general rule of thumb, at least in my case, was a large piece would take about 4 hours. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I roughly had an educated guess, a guesstimation, that my entire sleeve took about 40 to 60 hours. Now, obviously that's not all in one go, like one day after the other. In fact, I did the top half of my sleeve, took a 6-month break, and did the rest of it. And during this time, they were done by 2 different tattoo artists. But in my opinion, you can't really tell the difference. And the most comical question that I get, that people ask me, is, what do your tattoos mean? And essentially, I just wanted tattoos because they look cool. I didn't want to deep it too much, like, oh, this one reminds me of my nan, and this one reminds me of so-and-so, and blah, blah, blah. No, I just wanted a cool tattoo. If you want my whole opinion on the thing, I think people try and deep it too much when it comes to the whole thing. They want everything to mean something because it's gonna be on your body forever. But I just don't see it that way. Tattoos may be permanent, but I don't even realize that this is even here anymore. Everyone I know doesn't even take notice of this tattoo anymore. When people point out my tattoo, it actually surprises me because I'm like, oh yeah, I actually do have a tattoo. And sort of branching off that, a criticism that I get when it comes to tattoos as well is like, oh, how is that gonna look when you're 60? You're not gonna look good when you're 60. It's like, big man. Hardly anyone is gonna look good at 60, 70. Me having a saggy tattoo isn't gonna make much of a difference. Like, if anything, I'll be the sickest Donny in the retirement home. So with the quick little FAQ out the way, let's just jump into the tattoos. You bought yourself a free ticket to the gun show. So firstly, I guess I want to take it back to the very start. My first ever tattoo. And that one has to be this little mandala flower with a bird on it. Don't worry, I'm going to include some B-roll as well so you can see close up what it's like. So this was my first ever tattoo. I was really happy with it at the time, but I think when you look back at any tattoo that you get done, you look at it with a really critical eye and you can see all the imperfections in there. Perfectly symmetrical. Is it exactly what the design looks like? But for me, I really enjoyed this first tattoo. I thought it was quite a big tattoo to get for your very first one as well, and it was quite unusual at the time. When people were getting tattoos back then, it was all about stars and music notes and, you know, all of that jazz. But I decided to go with a mandala flower and a bird because, I'm not gonna lie, I saw it on Tumblr and I wanted my own variation on it. So my tattoo artist just basically did her own mandala and bird. You know, you could sit there and point out all the imperfections all day, but I actually don't care. And that was the start of my whole tattoo journey, if you will. Ever since I got that tattoo, I thought that would be enough. Like, I got a tattoo now, I'm cool in the gang, that kind of thing. Woo! But it's true what they say, you get addicted to tattoos. It's just like something new on your body. So you're like, yeah, I want this to be like new year, new me, in the middle of July. Aggressive fist slaps. So that was my first tattoo. I think I had that on its own for a year. And then later on down the line, the same tattoo shop that I got that from, we're doing a Friday the 13th flash sale. For those of you who don't know, Friday the 13th in the tattoo world is still considered a lucky day. So they had this massive flash sheet of tiny tattoos for £13, or you could get a big one for £31, keeping in theme with the whole 13-1-3 type aesthetic. So I thought, why not? I'm bored, I've got a couple of hours to kill. So I let another tattoo artist let loose and draw an anchor on the back of my car. And this is a tattoo that nobody really knows about because in the UK, you're always wearing trousers, you hardly ever wear shorts. I hardly ever notice that it's there, but people point it out to me like, oh, you've got a leg tattoo. It's like, oh yeah, so that's the leg tattoo. It doesn't really get a lot of love. Now, back to the gun show. I'm gonna finally talk you through the sleeve. I'm gonna start from top to bottom, and it's gonna be a lot of B-roll so you can see these things up close and personal. So firstly, we have this owl with a sugar skull inside of its belly. I just thought this was a really cool look. At the time, sugar skulls were in, like they were proper in. Everyone was getting sugar skulls tattooed on them. But they were just like normal sugar skulls on their own. You know, they did look fine. I just wanted to do something a little bit different with it. Because I already had an animal on my forearm, I wanted to keep in theme with that. So everything on the sleeve is like animals infused with like a hipster tone. So that was the aesthetic in mind when I was getting these tattoos. So back to the owl. We've got a very stern looking owl with a nice sugar skull in the middle there, and in the background we've got some nice rays and traditional looking clouds. They're really curly, which I quite like. At first I didn't really get it when they were doing it, but I'm too polite, so I didn't actually say anything like, what are you doing? I just trusted them and it came out really nicely. So this is definitely the biggest tattoo. It covers most of the shoulder coming down the arm. This one definitely took the longest, and it's one that I don't see very often just because it's normally covered by a t-shirt, so it is a pleasant surprise when I do see it. On the inside here we have easily one of my favorite tattoos on the sleeve is this stag. I definitely wanted a stag in my collection of tattoos, and I know I said before like these tattoos have no meaning. This tattoo does upon reflection. This is a stag. I'm from Hertfordshire, and that whole logo is like a stag or a deer. I don't know, some kind of like Bambi looking creature. And I just think they're really majestic creatures and easily one of my favorite animals in general. Above the deer we have this half crescent moon. This one doesn't have a profound meaning at all. It's literally there just to cover a bit of space. We had a gap here, so we decided to fill it with a toenail, I suppose you could call it. Moving a bit further down, we have this fox, which a lot of people try and tease me and say, oh no, that's a cat, which I don't personally get until I saw the whiskers, and then I was just vexed. But I think this fox looks really cool, although it did really hurt in the ditch of the arm there, like I was not feeling that. But yeah, that fox does absolute levels. If I had to go back, I would probably have replaced it with a bear or something. Something a bit more manly. So hold tight the fox. On the back of the top bit of the arm, we've got like a little rose. Again, 2012, it was all about roses, sugar skulls, stars, etc. I've got a few roses in the sleeve just hidden away. Moving on to the forearm, we've got my first tattoo, as stated before. We've got a nice little carry on here. We've got some shape with some plant leaves, I suppose you could call them, in there. The next notable piece is definitely one of my favorites. We've got a gypsy woman with a wolf headdress. It's all very 2012 hipster. I think I was actually wearing a flannel at the time as well. I had like a Supreme 5-panel and I was like attempting to ollie. So the gypsy woman with the wolf headdress is a really nice piece as well, which I think really stands out. I think it just looks super cool. And the last notable piece is the rose on the wrist. My tattoo artist worked their way down. I think we just ran out of ideas and we just wanted to put a rose there, but I think it works. And of course my tattoo is filled in with clouds and rays and that kind of thing. So that's basically the theme of this whole tattoo. So those were my tattoos. I don't regret anything. You know, it's not a perfect tattoo, but right from the get-go, I never expected it to be. I think people get proper anal with tattoos in general, but for me, I've always wanted tattoos and I got them, but I didn't get them the first chance that I got them when I was 21. I could have got them when I was 18 without anyone's permission, but I did get advised by my parents to wait a little bit longer, because when you're 18, you just want different things. Like if I was 18 and I got tattoos when I wanted them, my tattoos would look totally different. I would have like stars going all up my arm and have like music notes on my neck, that kind of thing. Like it just wouldn't run, and I think I definitely would have regretted those tattoos. These ones that I got, I did put some thought into them, something that was timeless. I didn't want to put any quotes in there or anything like that, just in case your feelings change behind them. But I think with animals in general, like it's a pretty solid concept. An owl can mean anything. All these animals can mean so many different things, or they can mean nothing at all. It doesn't matter. Moving on to my piercings, this is literally going to be a stub in the video because there's nothing much much to see. Again, much like these tattoos, I don't ever realize that I have piercings unless someone points it out. The first ever piercing that I got was both of my earlobes, 2010, 2011, but they were done unprofessionally. Someone just literally pinned me down and put earrings in me. It eventually got to a point where I was wearing like super heavy Cubics fake diamond bricks in my ears. They were just like hanging down and everything. It wasn't a good look. Then I just took them out completely for a while until my sister got like a little stretching kit, because everyone was stretching their ears a little bit later on in life. So I decided to try it out. I went from a 0 straight to a 2.5. I do not recommend that at all. After that, I just went up in half sizes, and I don't know what gauge this is now, but it's like a centimeter in diameter, so whatever that is. I used to have a top piercing in my cartilage in my ear up here, but that got infected and I took it out, and now it's just scar tissue. And my last piercing is a nose piercing, which also got done unprofessionally. There's a gory story behind that, but I won't bore you with the details. However, the moral of the story is to always go to a professional, always go to a piercing shop, never get it done by your friends. My nose piercing had a really hard time healing, but it's at a good place now, but that's just lucky. All in all, I would say that tattoos and piercings definitely are somewhat of a fashion accessory. It's just another way to express yourself and give yourself a little bit of unique style. It's not something you could just buy off the shelf, but all in all, definitely an undeniable fashion accessory. Can we get some chit in the chat? Can we smash some F in there, please? Let me know which one of these tattoos you like the most. If you're thinking of getting a tattoo, please inform the group. Comment what you're getting. Comment what tattoos you've got, what piercings you have. Do you regret certain tattoos? Do you regret certain piercings? What's with all the questions? Leave me alone, bruv. If you liked the video, consider smashing the like button. If you didn't like the video, consider smashing the dislike button. If you want to support me, then all I ask is you subscribe. And if you want to go the extra mile, then press the little bell icon as well. And with that being said, thank you for watching my videos. Sick Mate merch coming out very, very soon. I am not joking, my good man. Thank you. Bye.